Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
Welcome to Game Week 8 Premier League preview. The biggest game of this weekend is Liverpool is going to be hosting Chelsea. That means Slot versus Maresca. Slot is on top of the table. Their team are doing very well throughout the league, but Maresca is cooking, so that's going to be the biggest game of the weekend. Manchester United will be hosting Brentford. You know, Ten Hag is still on hot seat. Let's hope that probably we're going to analyze if he's going to be staying after this game or what's going to happen after this game. Wolves is going to hosting Manchester City. Pep is still trying to retain his Premier League title. He wants to do 5 in a row. Then Bournemouth will host Arsenal. Arsenal are a team to look out for because Arteta has been building his team to win the Premier League. Then finally, Spurs is going to be hosting Westham. Okay, let's start with the biggest game of the weekend. It's Liverpool hosting Chelsea. It's Slot versus Maresca. What are we looking forward in? What are we going to see in that game? These two tacticians, remember, Slot are doing well. They are top of the league. Maresca has built a team and he's been cooking. So now here the food go bomb.
Okay, when we talk about the Premier League, I like to consider the Premier League a 2-mile race. The race starts from August till December. That's the first mile of the race. The second mile of the race is going to be from January to May. And then when we now come in between the race, we have the first quarter and second quarter of the race, which is this sprint now between the first game to the 8th game. And if you look at these two, Slot has done phenomenally well in the way Liverpool have started. He's gotten a very good start, you know. Now, coming into this game against Chelsea, he's going to be looking to take 3 points off the table, continue to consolidate on his position in the Premier League. And on the flip side, Enzo Maresca has come out to the media to say that he's not pursuing Man City, he's not pursuing Arsenal, but I think he will feel within his right to be able to go to Anfield and get a point or get a win or get a result, you know, because yes, in his own words, you know, Arteta, Pep Guardiola leagues ahead, and he's also, taking that pressure off his squad. Going up against a Liverpool side, I think he will be confident of getting a win or getting a point. So it's not going to be a walkover, like someone will say. It's not going to be business as usual. This is a must-win match. And let's not forget, because there is also the antics of the derby nature of this match. Remember, over the years, it's always been Stevie Gerrard versus Lampard. It's always been a flare-off between, the likes of Fernando Torres and Didier Drogba. Also, when they switch lanes, you are going to see the flare-off between Fernando Torres at Chelsea versus a young Luis Suarez at Liverpool. So it's a game that brings a lot of encounter. Is a game that the officials are also going to have a handful. If you go by history, it's a game that has a lot of goals in it. So for me, I'm excited to watch this match, and let's see how it goes.
No, so what do you think about this game? Do you think that you've been talking about Maresca, that he's soon go born?
That no go sweet.
But no go sweet or no go born.
He said he's going to born.
So what is going to Anfield? Going to Anfield is not quite an easy environment. The atmosphere is crazy. The fans are crazy. Everybody, they are always on top of their voice, and they have been supporting Liverpool. That's why they are top of the league. Now, Maresca going there, do you think that he's going to be attacking Liverpool, or do you think that he's going to sit back and hit on the counter?
He doesn't have the players to hit Liverpool on the counter. Because when you hit Liverpool on the counter, you have defenders who can sit and defend counter-attack in Liverpool. That's the only thing they kind of do well. And before you play against the Liverpool side on the break, you need to be sure that Liverpool are coming forward more than halfway line to play attack. And you see them play, and they have fast defenders. That's why I said you can't hit Liverpool on the break.
But Chelsea have fast attackers.
They have fast wingers in the side, yes.
Would you be trusting this guy to start this game?
Who is that?
Modric.
No, we are talking about Modric. Modric is fast.
Modric is fast, but he might be competing against a Chimikas or a Robertson, who is as faster than he is. Compare the speed rating. Robertson is very faster. You get? So when I said if you're going to hit on the break, there's even the Vijay Van Dijk that is very fast. There's a Kunate who's as fast as he is. Yeah. They are defensive midfielder who is also dropping deep. He's fast. So Liverpool will be on the ball all through the game. Now I'm saying Maresca will come up with another tactic, come up with another style, play possession football, come out and play football, then they'll hurt themselves. The only thing you'll be looking at that can play counter-attacking football in this regard is Liverpool, because they know how to send forward passes to players in the 1v1 situation. And those players, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Once Mo Salah, Luis, what's his name?
Diaz, yes.
Diaz or Nunes gets you in a 1v1 situation, know they are going to score their goals.
I'm shocked you didn't mention Jota.
Just calm down. He starts from the bench. Whenever any of the forward line in Liverpool gets you on a 1v1 situation, they are scoring their goals. But can I say that for the Chelsea side? Can I say that for the Chelsea forward? No, I can't. They get you in a 1v1 situation, they're trying to dribble past 4 defenders, which they don't always get past those defenders. They create enough chances, they dribble a lot, but they don't score the goals.
Well, let me stay with you now. So, what Palmer is the key to unlocking this Chelsea attacking powers. Do you think that he is with, he won the England Footballer of the Year and he won the Young Footballer of the Year too? Do you think that Palmer is going to be critical in this game?
For me, the midfield is where the game is going to be critical. The midfield overall, because it's tough when I look at teams like this and I say, okay, fine, who is going to be the standout player? And everybody talks about Palmer. I look at Palmer and I'm like, okay, fine, he's good. He's a well-rounded player. But no jokes about it now. He's a well-rounded player, but can he survive the Liverpool pressure? That's where the problem is. I'm not going to take away his credit of being a good player.
Star boy. I think he's good.
No matter how you put a star boy out there, there's a limit to the starness. There's a limit to this play. At some point, you need to look out for the cautions of other because you keep talking about Palmer being exceptional, Palmer being great. What if he meets a team that is bigger and more composed in midfield? How does he survive that?
Palmer is not a lone man in that side.
No, because
he's not a lone man. He has credible backup behind him. You talk about Caicedo, you talk about Enzo Fernandez. This match is a match of the midfield, and I think Chelsea are equal to the task. If you look at midfield for midfield, they have the numbers, they have the manpower. My only worry with Chelsea is the lone man up front and the 2 centre halves behind. That's my only worry with Chelsea in this match.
You just said they match everybody blow for blow.
Yes, they do.
And you're already calling 5 players that didn't match the other team.
I said, if you look at the mid, I don't take my words out of context.
I'm not taking your words out of context.
If you look at the midfield, no,
okay,
I said, if
midfield.
you look at the midfield, they have the players to match Liverpool man for man. They have Caicedo, they have Fernandez, they have Palmer, they have the wingers in the side. And my only worry is the man up front, talking about a Jackson, and the 2 centre halves behind. That's 3
players.
Positions. So it's going to be in this picture, if there's a disconnect now from the way they build up from the back, from the goalkeeper to the 2 centre halves, and then the fullbacks are not helping out, or there's a miscommunication, we could see an error in that side. If the man up front is getting all this service and is not converting, then we could see another error. So, but if we talk about the midfield alone, they will mount Liverpool man for man, and it's going to be a tough match.
You said 2 in the back and 1 up front, which means you've removed 3 players. It was 11 against 11, and now you're saying Chelsea are playing -3. You get, so they have 7.
But the difference about this thing,
you're making it out of context. I said that I'm not sure about this. So you're saying I'm discounting. I'm not discounting them.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm agreeing with you. Just that this it's a good team. Like I said, it's a good team, but there's going to be lapses here and there. But John didn't understand that context, and now John have elaborated on the context and said the man up front. I didn't want to go there. The man up front and the 2 centre halves.
Yes.
You get, now he's giving credit to Caicedo. There's one thing Caicedo does. I think the only person that does it better is Casemiro, diving into reckless challenges.
Let's not forget we have Lavia in the side. Lavia is another phenomenal talent in the DM.
The only person that does it better is Casemiro, diving into reckless challenges, taking up a yellow card where where it's not needed. You get, and Caicedo has done that all of last season. You get, he was one of the most underrated defenders, or one of the most underrated midfielders in the Premier League last season, but he didn't kind of live in the hype because it's Chelsea now, not the other teams. It's Chelsea. They were under the radar for some time, so they didn't really dwell much on his lapses. Now, if you look at Liverpool on the other hand, you don't have midfielders who dive into reckless challenges. They go into the challenge, they get their balls, they win their balls, and they progress together. It's like a unit. It's like what they call it, a single unit. They work together, they progress together, they fall deep together to defend the lines. Okay, until Chelsea learns how to break that line of the midfield, it's going to be a problem of Chelsea coming up top in this game.
I don't think they need to break the line of midfield, because while you have top players and a gelled team, you need one second of brilliance from Palmer.
That's what I'm looking for.
And you have a goal, and before you know, you hit them successively, and you
brilliance from
win the
Palmer
match.
is intercepted by Konate or Virgil van Dijk, or maybe
these characters you are calling, if anyone picks up a card, they are not going to be as effective in that match. So mentality is going to be
the only
key.
problem you see in the Chelsea side or in the Liverpool side so far is Trent because of defensive frailties. That's the only thing you talk about Liverpool side. Trent.
I wouldn't call Trent a deficiency in that.
Because see, going forward, he's one of their best players. Like I said, defensively, he has his flaws. But going forward, he's one of their best players. And Liverpool or Chelsea side will have to suffer his creativity because you're talking about intelligence from defensive line in what's it called now in the Liverpool side. You're also talking about the attack of Kopama and the rest of them. We're talking about intelligence from the Liverpool side. They can build from the back. They are conscious on the ball, and going forward, they're a unit.
Okay, let's see what is going to happen on that game. That game is going to happen on Sunday. It's going to be Slot and Maresca trying to get all 3 points. Remember, Slot is still top of the table, and Maresca probably is trying to catch up. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Is Wolves is going to be hosting Man City. Remember, Man City is trying to win 5 in a row, and Pep is really chasing that particular title. Okay, if you look at that game, Wolves have not been really team. They have not been the team this season that have played well. They conceded a whole lot of goals. They conceded 6 against Chelsea, if I can remember. They conceded 6, and so you are wearing a Wolves jersey. Probably they conceded another 7 against Manchester City. But if you look at that game, do you think that Wolves have enough? I start with you, John, to shock City, or do you think that Haaland and Pep will run away with this one?
For me, I wouldn't, put it beyond Wolves to, give City a couple of scares. But I am confident we'll get the 3 points, and I'm confident it's going to be a blowout. That's all I'm going to say.
What do you think? You are wearing the Wolves jersey. Do you think that they can shock City?
Let me say it's going to be a blowout. He's confident of the win. I don't think Wolf will get the result. I'll have to support John there. But the blowout, not really. The blowout, because where John is going to now, the blowout, you don't want to talk about because he might not tell Haaland hat-trick. If they can't win once, because a win is a win. A win is John will not come back and tell you a win is a win, regardless.
But the win is a win.
But now when they talk blowout,
regardless, a win is a win. Straight
blowout in the contest.
I carry with my full chest.
Blowout. Waiting John they talk now. Confident City will come up top. Blowout in a see John. Let the sentence as in let it be as. Explain it to me like I'm a 2-year-old.
Yeah, boy, I'm not a 2-year-old.
Man City go win them anyhow.
You're not a 2-year-old, and I trust that you have something upstairs, so you should know what to do.
Like I said, explain it to me like I'm a 2-year-old. What do you expect Man City to get from this game? Because I'm saying a one goal win for Man City.
I'm expecting a blowout.
Because these people will sit deep. Under Nuno, there's something I learned with Nuno Espirito Santos, and after they changed him and he went to Tottenham and they changed him and brought in Julian Lopetegui. Westham Wanderers started playing a maybe mixed football, defensive attacking football, but it didn't work out. It has never worked out. Now with John O'Brien, it's not working out. That's something people don't know. It's not working out. If under Nuno, we saw a Westham Wanderers beat Man City home and away, cost them the title. I think that was the title Chelsea, the last season Chelsea won the title. They cost them the title. Even when Liverpool won the title, it was Westham Wanderers that gave them the title because they reduced Man City's points. You get? Westham Wanderers in recent years are the only people that know how to take points from Man City under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not under these clowns that are here now under ETH and all of that. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Nuno Espirito Santos, they knew how to take away points from Man City, beating Man City home and away. Even if Man City at the end of the day go on to win the league, they take away credible points from Man City. But in recent years, if they go against Man City, it's always 4 goals, 3 goals. Even this season now, it's a shame that whenever they even win a game, they win with 2 goals margin. But when they concede more than 4 goals a game.
The only thing I'm going to say is in recent years. Thank you.
In recent years, they concede more than they score. And it's a problem for... I'm looking at them like they should go and... They should ask themselves when they were playing with the Portuguese second national team. You get, because that was what they were playing like when they were going to Europe. Because under Nuno, they were going to Europa Leagues. They were finishing in top 7.
So what do you think of Pep? Do you see that Pep can...
I'm just saying Pep has been cooking them since last year. You get? But this season, I think this one will be looking to rebrand. See if he can concede less goals because he has conceded more against Chelsea. He wouldn't want to concede more goals against the big 6. So he wants to start conceding less goals against the big 6 teams to see if he can manage the team to qualify for the middle table group or perhaps to the Continentals. Conference League is open.
I think you should pray that the Viking doesn't score.
Haaland to say hat-trick.
I said, make John explain that to me like I'll be 2 years old.
I said you should pray that the Viking doesn't score.
It's a blowout. It's a blowout if the Viking doesn't score. We never know.
Okay, that's on the Wolves is going to be hosting City. Probably, let's see what happens. Probably that game is going to be, I won't call it an open game, but Pep and Man City are always a strong side. Okay, let's talk about the next one. I'll call them the troubled one. It's Manchester United will be hosting Brentford. Brentford has scored 3 early goals in the first 2 minutes of their game in 6 of the games they have played. 3 games they have scored in the first 3 minutes, and they're going to be hosting this Manchester United their defense sometimes they shake. Now, if you look at, and also I'll start with you because you said that the only person that have taken points away from City is Ole,
yes.
And you thought other coaches, not this Ten Hag. You said it, I heard it.
Not this man. No.
I'm starting with it because you're always supporting Ten Hag. You want him to stay. Now
yes, he's your favorite.
Now he's staying.
Yes.
Now, if you look at that game against Brentford, he's on a hot seat. Do you think that Ten Hag is in the right frame of mind to lead this team forward? Because it's somehow for the past, maybe in space of 4 to 5 months, your club have reviewed your position twice in space of 5 months. Do you think he's in the right frame of mind to control these boys to be winning, getting all 3 points? Because what they need actually is 3 points. No matter how he gets it, he needs 3 points.
I have a problem with Ten Hag now because I like his style of play. I like what he's trying to build at Man United. But now I'm beginning to ask the question: what are they actually training for at Man United? Because every week there's somebody picking up a knock. Injuries. You get every week, and recently we are hearing rumors of Kobe Mainoo, Mazraoui, Mount will not be available. Every week one player is picking up a knock. Are you training for taekwondo or are you training for football? Because every day you ask yourself, because I heard Benny McCarthy say that during the training you see a different spirit on the camp. You see different players putting up the energy to train during trainings. But during games it's like different. It's totally different. The work ethic is dropped. Everything is dropped because they're trying to fear. It seems they are fearful of the opposition side tackling them and getting injured. So they fear to dive into those challenges. They fear to go into those challenges and get the ball. They fear to go into the games with the right mentality. So I'm asking myself now, what do they train for in training? Because every training, you see a player playing safe during the game, and in training session, they are putting their lives in, going with all the challenges and getting the knock during training games. So I'm asking Ten Hag now, what is the training model like at Man United? Because this is the highest we've seen in an injury case at Man United for a long. This is the highest case of injury we've seen in the Premier League season for any football club. So combine every team together in the Premier League. Let's say the 20 teams. This is the highest we've seen a team go. So it's like Man United going for injury on behalf of other teams. No worry, make go the injury for now. Everything they happen now for Man United. So it becomes a problem. I don't know how the tactics is on the pitch. I don't know what it is on the pitch because I see the pattern. I see him talk about football every time. I see him talk about the pattern of play he wants to play. I see him talk about the style of play he wants to play at Man United. But I don't see those patterns on the field because the players are cautious on the field because they've wasted their energy doing the same thing on the training, and it's a problem for me. I think if they go into this game with this mentality, it's going to be a problem.
Okay, John, if you look at this Brighton side, they have scored early goals. I think 4 or 5 games this they have scored in the first 3 minutes of the game. Do you think they can hurt Ten Hag at Old Trafford?
I think, I just want to make a couple of statements. I think Ten Hag has already written down what he's going to say in the post-match conference. When they eventually lose the match, he's going to blame it on the players that are not available and the injury scare of last season that Manchester United could not end from coming back into this season, because we are seeing it spill over into this season and we're getting a couple players getting knocked in training. So I don't know now, is Manchester United training to get injured or are they training for the Premier League? We need to understand. And then 2, we need to also understand that there are teams in football and other sports that train 6 hours. They don't pick up enough. They train a lot more than Manchester United are training for just 3 hours, and yet they keep on picking up these knocks. It's not nice, and it's not a nice thing for the club to understand and to be going through. But they are going to have to be very wary of Brentford playing at home at the Old Trafford. They need to be very wary of Brentford, because is a game you can't afford to come into sleeping. It's a game you can't afford to come into with your Gen Z spirits coming with you into the match. You need to be on your toes, you need to be on your feet, you need to have your wits about you, and you need to make the best of the players you have around you. So for me, I would say that Ten Hag should consider this match a dress, what would they call it now, dress rehearsal, because if this match goes south,
problem everywhere.
It's going to be multiplied quantum problem everywhere for him.
Okay, let's move on to the next game. Bournemouth is going to host Arsenal. Arsenal is a team from last season. They have kept more clean sheets away from home than any other team in the Premier League. Even though they have a little bit of injuries here and there, but they are still a complete side. Arsenal Arteta has been building for the past 2 seasons. They are close to winning the Premier League for the past 2 seasons, but they couldn't get it because of, obviously, the main guy is still there, City. But they are going to be going away to Bournemouth. Do you think that, I'll stay with you, John, do you think that he has all it takes to be winning that game or getting 3 points from that game?
For me, I would say it's not going to be an easy game, and I'm going to pin it on these two facts. One, it's not going to be an easy game because the creative spark in the team, talking about Odegaard, the leader, the marshal, the lone ranger in the side, the lone ranger that marshals everybody, is not available. A couple of other key players are not going to be available, and if Saka comes into this game and have a subpar game, then Arsenal may struggle to produce. And then secondly, it's not going to be an easy game also because you have Bournemouth. They are a good side. Solanke is no longer there, but they have a couple of new players in. But in the sense that they are not going to once over this game. It's going to be a hard-fought game, so they need to come in with the best foot forward and look to get something out of the match.
What do you make of that game? Do you think that Bournemouth can surprise Arsenal?
Bournemouth sold Solanke for about £65 million, and they brought in a club record signing, Evanison. And if you look at the way Evanison has played in recent games against Wolverhampton Wanderers, against Everton, he got an assist, got chances created. He's one of these fleet-footed Brazilians that come in and they show you. But I'm still looking at the first 9 games, and he's not really done well. So he's trying to play cautious football, but he's also that energy. And I think he has the energy to run. You get the Arsenal defense. He has the energy to run them. Though I trust Saliba and all of that to be on the top of their game. But when you play against a new player, you don't know the style of player that player is coming in, and you've not seen his game before. It's not like you say, Saliba is watching Brazil League. You say that Gabriel knows how Brazil plays, and because he's from Brazil, he can. Sometimes some players come with a different touch, and I think that's what Evanison has come with, a different touch. And we have other players in the midfield as well. We have other good players in the box. We have talented players all around the field, and they want to show that they are also here to come and fight for their position in the Premier League. That's what they are there for. And that's what I'm seeing Bournemouth doing this game. Okay, let's move on to the next game.
We'll get the position for all these games later in the show, but let's move on to the last big 6 is Tottenham Hotspur hosting Westham. Spurs in the last game, they threw away a 2-goal lead after scoring 2 goals in the first half against Brighton. Second half, they considered 3 and lost that game. They created another record, becoming the first team in the Premier League history that have gone in all the games that have gone 2 goals lead in a game and ended up losing that game. I think it's 10. That was the record. Do you think it's going to be playing in the Spurs players' mind that were coming to this game and their opponents trashing winning their last game matches. So it gives them confidence that West Ham? Do you think that these 2 last games will affect the team when they play? I'll start with you, John, and also because you are a West Ham fan.
Well, I always this person who is cautious of saying what I want to say, so I don't be like I live in the hype. You get West Ham is a good side, Tottenham are a good side, but like I said before, every tactics come with a flaw. Now it is your job as a coach to handle your flaw first. And I think with the high intensity counter-attacking play possession football Tottenham plays with, they are open at the back. I've said this before, but because they have faster defenders to track back and defend, it becomes easy for them. They have a good goalkeeper in Vicaro. It becomes easy for them. But when they play against a team that has very fast attackers, it becomes a problem because they will be forced to sit down and then there will be this gap between the midfield and the defense line. And I think that's the gap that.
Do you think that West Ham can?
That's the gap. That's the gap these people exploited. Brighton exploited in their last game. And I think that's the gap Bowen, Kudus, and Paqueta might be looking to exploit. The gap between the midfield and defense, because they will be cautious that West Ham has fast defenders, fast attackers to hit on the break, and from there they will leave that gap, and they might exploit that gap, having many midfielders around that area.
John, what do you think of that game? Do you think that West Ham have enough power to beat this Spurs side?
I love it when Nonso talks about West Ham because, I look at strikers, I look at forwards. Let's not call strikers now because you guys don't have strikers. We have forwards in the West Ham side. I wouldn't say any of them is fleet-footed. I wouldn't say any of them is going to be fast to outpace a midfielder in the West Ham, in the Tottenham setup and get into positions. I would say if somebody in the midfield setup can spot a pass and throw that pass, they can move the ball quickly into pocket spaces behind the midfield, in front of the defense, or behind the defense even. It's now going to be who is going to make the running, who is going to get in on the ball, and if they get in on the ball, who is going to bury up forward? Are we going to see them play Bowen up front? Are we going to see them play Antonio up front? Who is going to be in the forward four? You know, that's that. But for me, I think
change, John. The forward four is still the forward John four. There's an Antonio, Mokudus, Bowen, and Paqueta.
Sometimes he starts, he benches Antonio.
Yes, and starts Bowen up forward and plays
That's when he
people
wants to
in
play
there.
Somerville.
Simple.
When he wants to, you see that Somerville is not been giving results. So why play him when he doesn't get results?
Okay, let's get your prediction for that game. Let's start with you.
See, like I will hold up for a draw, but I'm looking at a 2-1 win for Westham.
John?
Tottenham winning it straight up.
Okay, let's get a prediction for other games that's happening. By 3 p.m. is Fulham versus Aston Villa. Let me start with you, Nonso.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa to win.
Yeah.
Same here, Aston
Villa to win. Is Ipswich versus Everton.
Well, I like McKinnon, you get, and Everton side are looking as a stuff as they is out. I'll stick with a draw in that one.
Okay, John.
Ipswich for the win.
Okay, Manchester United versus Brentford.
That's tough. Man United 2-1.
Man United to win 2-1. Okay, John.
Brentford
to win. Newcastle and Brighton.
Like I said before, it's going to be a draw.
A draw for you?
Yes.
Brighton win.
Brighton to win. Southampton versus Leicester City. Let's give it to Leicester City. Ndidi is there.
Ndidi all the way, man.
Ndidi
I know Southampton
Southampton
has Nigerians as well, but I'm just going to stick with Ndidi.
Okay, the last game for the day on Saturday is Bournemouth versus Arsenal.
Then I'll give them a draw.
I
want to stick with Arsenal, but
Arsenal win.
Arsenal to win. Okay, on Sunday is Wolves versus Manchester City.
The Vikings
The
there.
Vikings
It's going to be a blowout.
it's going to be a blowout until Vikings does not score a goal again. Then Man City win.
Man City to win. Okay, the last game and the big one is Liverpool versus Chelsea.
Well, like I said before, Liverpool continue to keep their clean sheets.
Okay, John.
Chelsea
2-0.
win or draw.
Just win or draw. Okay, let's hope that this weekend gives us a whole lot of football, a whole lot of goals. Let's enjoy our weekend, especially the game between Liverpool and Chelsea is going to be the Super Sunday.